Greetings, greetings, greetings. Glad to have you here again on Run Tell That. This show is a pre-recorded show, and because on the last Wednesday of each month, we do a wellness show, and it's co-hosted by myself and Coach Sam Carter. So this is Coach Sam Carter, Coach Carter's wellness session right here. But when we did the recording, it was right after we had the minor tropical storm here. So in some areas, we had issues with regard to connectivity, with regards to the digital, with regard to the internet. So internet connections are down. And what's going to happen with regards to the recording? The screen is going to freeze. Just like that. Just like that. So I'm doing it again for you. It's going to freeze just like that. But what's going to happen, which I didn't do this when I did my example of the freezing, that you're still going to hear the conversation, because on this session, this Coach Carter Wellness session episode of Run Tell That, we're going to have Coach and Minister Todd Rhodes Jr. We're going to be talking about youth recreation, because we had some conversations about that early in the month, about with regards to our youth needing to have outlets with regards to their development. So this show is dealing with that, and again, some long-term conversations. We also put out the show that's going to go on next month. The show next month, again, for men and for women, probably want to tune in, because we're going to deal with ED, erectile dysfunction. That's what we're going to be dealing with in August, because we mentioned that with regards to this same session. So we're glad to have you all here. Share. A lot of great information with regard to the youth, with regard to what we need to be doing as parents, as guardians, as concerned citizens. Oh, I got to say this too. Got to put it out there. I had to say thank you to our school board representative, Dr. Tanya Howard Hall, because she gave me some gifts, HBJ gifts, again, School of Engineering pen, pencil, and also phone stand. I got the phone on the phone stand right now. And so again, to our great school board representative, Dr. Tanya Howard Hall, and also to the rest of you also for the birthday wishes. We appreciate you all. And there's some things we're going to need to discuss with you on the political front with regard to the school board. Some of y'all saw some things. And so there's some plans that we have in place that we need to have a strong conversation with. And we got to be serious. As I told some folks, we got to be serious like Harold Washington when he did what he did in Chicago. So there's some things we have on the horizon. But we're going to sit back, chill, let you check out the video. But again, the video will freeze, but what's going to happen, you're going to hear them talking. That is Coach Sam Carter and also Coach Todd Rhodes Jr. I'm sitting there also, and we do get into what is the best high school in Savannah, Chatham County, Georgia. That part is not frozen. That job is live right there. And we all know what it is. Bam, HDJ in the house. Happy birthday to my family. Happy birthday, because if I didn't have, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for them. So I gotta say happy birthday to my mom and my daddy. But also what we did too, we made sure to feed the people on our birthday. We want people to begin doing that. Look out for other people on your birthday. Don't be so selfish. Make sure we try to change this world, because it's important that we do that right now. And we can start with the youth. See how all that flows together? So again, we're not going to segue off. I'm going to move on out of the way. And then what's going to happen, you're going to see the video. And I'll come back and close this out. Glad to have you on Run Tell That. Share. And don't get discouraged when you see the screen freeze, because they're still going to be talking, giving out great information. I'm doing like Bernard Brown. Greetings, greetings, greetings. This is Run Tell That, and this is our special monthly segment that we do with Coach Sam Carter. He's in the house. We got a special guest here, Coach Todd Rhodes Jr. in the house. And, again, it's special. It's special. This month we're going to deal with the issue, but next month also with Coach Sam Carter.
Yes.
But those the men who are out there, to the wives out there, the girlfriends, the fiancés, all that, we're going to be talking about ED next month. That's the segment in August. But this month right here, we got something else. And now I'm going to say, usually it's the last question we try to ask right now when people on Run Tell That. And I am saddened to have to ask this question right now because I want to get it out. And as I tell folks, I hope y'all get it right, the right answer. What is the best high school in the entire United States?
Blue Jacket Beach High.
That's why I knew we were going to get it right. I knew since fact we wasn't going to get it right. I got it out first, but see, that's the problem.
You know the Blue Jackets.
So we're going to roll on right now. We're going to roll on. So tell the people who you are.
Hey, back better than ever. Second time, the monthly show with my man, Dr. Jamal, and our guest, Coach Todd. You heard I said our guest. Once a month is our show together.
That's right.
Hey, Sam Carter, strength and conditioning coach. Try to do the best I can. Strengthen the mind, mostly condition the mind, the body, and the soul. Doing the best I can. Create pros in our community. So that's what we try to do. That's who I am. Sir?
I'm Todd Rhodes. I'm a youth minister, youth mentor. I have a nonprofit youth organization. I just want to be a blessing. I want to help. I'm just on fire to do positive things in our community, and I just want to be a blessing. That's it.
So you heard it. And so now I'm about to throw it out to them. Why are youth sports important to personal development, to educational development, and with regard to the reduction of crime?
Oh, man. I went to Jamal, and I said, Jamal, it was shooting in Savannah this week, next week, last month, last year. And I'll say the backbone of our society, the backbone. And people are like, some people answer it as the female. Yes. Some people answer it education. Yes. Some people answer it as church. Yes. But don't forget and don't leave out the backbone of a society, because the backbone has vertebrae. It has the vertebrae that makes up your backbone. So all those have their own vertebrae. And the vertebrae that I'm telling you that we're lacking, that is falling off in this society, in our community in Savannah, is youth sports. And we are here to talk about our youth sports and what we can do to help, and some ideas that we can do to help our youth sport, and also the state of, and that's what Todd Rhodes did, the state of youth sport. But the youth sport, starting from the age of 3, 4 years old up until 14, 15, 16, 17 years old. If you do not occupy that energy, if you do not occupy that camaraderie, give them something to play for, that energy, give them something to go after, give them something. They're going to do something. They are going to do something. They're not playing on the field, on the court. When they're 13 and 12 and 9, that energy will be expended somewhere. So either going to be on the field or in the car. It's going to either be on the court or it's going to be climbing through a window. They got energy, because that's how we're made. We're made at the end. We have all the. You are born in shape. You are born in shape. The best way to be in shape is don't get out of shape. Don't lose it. That's the best way to be in shape. That's the best way. You're born in it. The Lord, God gives it to you when you're born. What happens is from 0 to 25, your body will take care of you. And so the Lord, when you're young, all this, all that. If you don't focus on nothing to focus on, guess what's going to happen? It's going to be useful, and that's what you see. That's what you see. Young people using energy outside of the field. Go ahead, Coach.
That's what Coach Carter just said. He valid point. When you think about it now. When you're small, you can shape like a tree, a plant. I can shape it. I can tilt it in the direction that I want it to grow. But when it becomes a big oak, I don't know if y'all can see that's behind me. There's nothing you can do with it. The kids are our future. We have to plan, because guess what? When sports and we don't have nothing for them to do, the dope man got a lot for him to do. He got pistols for him. He got coke for him. He got oxy pills for him. He got all kind of stuff to teach him and mold him and guide him. And then guess what? And we wonder why we see crime. Right. And we wonder why we see drugs in our communities and all kind of stuff going on. It's because our kids don't have an opportunity. They don't have an outlet. That's why it's important for people like Coach Carter. That's why it's important for all other people that's here in Savannah Channel that's trying to make a difference in these kids' lives. Not just trying, but making a difference in these kids' lives. And really, I'm talking about with their heart and their passion, their mind and their soul. They're giving everything that they got. So we need support.
And that's a part of that vertebrae. So it's not excluding the household with the parent. It's not the absentee father. I mean, it's not, we're not excluding that. We're not excluding the retention rate in school or the truancy rate or out of school, or we're not excluding the nutrition and the eating. All that adds up to the backbone, all of that. What we're saying today, what we're talking about is just one of the vertebrae. We are talking about the athletic, the activity, the recreation part of the socialization of a child from 3, 4 years old up until around the age 15, 16, 17. So that's what, so don't think that we're excluding other things that make up a well-rounded person. We're not. They need to hear the word. They need the education. They need the support of the community. What we're saying is, from our background, Coach Roscoe Edwards and Coach Holmes and these coaches got us at a young age. And so that is what happened. And so that's what we're talking about. So when you listen to us talk for the next 30, 40 minutes, you know, we're just talking about one vertebrae in that backbone. We're not, you know, but we recognize there are other things, but we're talking about that one. What we see, though, that in this area, in our community, it is a glaring hole that we see that we can do something and we can talk about, that we can improve in our aspect of what we deal with. That's what we're talking about today. That's what we're talking about. And so when you start talking about a young person, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, coaches, if I was in charge and you said, Dr. Jamal said, all right, Sam, you have the wand, what would you do? The first thing I would do, Coach, the first thing I would do, if I had the magic wand, you give me the magic wand first, Coach Todd Rhodes, I would secure the backbone by little league coaches. I would support little league coaches.
Don't give Coach Rhodes some of the ideas like that. Nigga, he's like his guy. He all like that. Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry. I apologize.
Little league coaches. I would support. I would recruit little league coaches. I would some kind of compensation. It may not be money. It may be passes to games. Little league coaches, because little league coaches support. You think about it. You have so many kids that come to little league coaches that may or may not have both parents. May or may not. We don't know. You got 20, 25, 30 kids in front of one man or one young lady, right? And from that point until they finish, they remember and they influence them. And so therefore, if I can get little league coaches and get that a job that people in our society would love to do little league and give back, organize little league coaches, you watch how the crime rate drops. You watch how the crime rate drops. Little league coaches. And so the things to support little league coaches, they got to have proper fields. We'll talk about that. Absolutely. They got to have proper bathrooms. We'll talk about that. Absolutely. They got to have proper nutrition. We'll talk about that. Absolutely. They got to have proper incentive that they want to see the kids play when they get to high school. We'll talk about that. So these are things that little league coaches do. But also with little league coaches, I would make it a grading system. I would make it a priority system. I would make a system for little league coaches to, like, in order for you to be a little league coach, you at least got to have this. You at least got to be able to do this. There would be a prerequisite for you to stand up in front of kids that you will have to have in order to be a little league coach. Male, female, black, white, it doesn't matter. We want you to be able to do this standard in order to be a little league coach. And that's what I would do. My first thing, secure personnel, Little League coach. Then I will address the fields, the buildings, and all that stuff. But the Little League coach, that's me.
Man, Coach, what do you think, Coach?
Hey, I agree 1,000% if that was such a thing, what Coach Carter said. Because think about it now. You have to have the heart and the ability to want to lead. But you have to be a follower first before you lead. So who are we following? Who are the youth coaches following? And then not only that, the kids. Think about it. We the ones that's out here in the communities. We out here. We're not behind closed doors. We're not in an office building. We are in the trenches with these kids, bringing them out of communities with their parents. So we have that connection with the community. I think that's where we lost sight at. We lost sight in having the relationship. See, with relationship, it requires communication and consistency. So once we build relationship and consistency, then we have a relationship. How many of y'all have a spouse or have a girlfriend or have a boyfriend that you don't never talk to? It ain't gonna work. It ain't gonna work. So we have to create a relationship with the community in which the kids, because we spend time with them. That's another thing. It's not all about money, but it's all about time too as well. If we out there and we spending time with these kids, therefore we'll know the need of the kid. Because guess what? There's some kids I see that's coming out there, they got cleats on, but they're too tight. Their feet are balled up. They have blisters on their feet. But it has to take me being out there in order to recognize that that child has the issue, because the child is not going to come out of his mouth 9 times out of 10 and say, hey, coach, my cleats are too tight. I have to eye that, but I have to be there to see that. Right? And once I see that, then therefore it's my job as a coach to bring it to not only the parent attention, because the parent can be doing the best thing that they can do. The parents could be working 2 jobs trying to provide just to take care of a roof over the kid's house, because if the parent don't work, then the kids will be homeless and have nowhere to stay. So it's our job to come together as coaches and say, look here, let's help little Timmy out. Coach such and such has some cleats for some kids, or coach such and such, his son only wore the cleats one time, and we can give you cleats. So it's all about relationship, communication, so we can move forward and be a powerhouse.
And coaches do that all the time, every day. And that's what coaches do. And so how do you not support them? They should be that's front line. They should be praised. They're first responders, police officers, first responders, firemen, first responders, and Little League coaches should be first responders. First responders. Put them in the same category that you put police officers and firemen, Little League coaches. Just like you put teachers, firemen, Little League coaches, police officers. Don't leave out the Little League coaches. That is a great mistake that we're doing in our community. Little League coaches should be admired. They should be put up. They are awesome. They saved my life. They saved your life. They saved a lot of people's life. Because I'm telling you, without Coach Roscoe Edwards, I would not be here today. Stolo. And me and a whole bunch of our friends, my friends would not be here today. Little League coaches.
So
that's the first thing.
That sounds like to me, Coach, that a seed has been planted.
Exactly.
And that sounds like to me that a seed has been watered.
Exactly.
And so with that being said, we understand that it may not be seen right then and there, but the fruit of it, the labor of it later on, you know, so that's so important. See why it's important for Little League coaches? Because of the simple fact of knowing what a person can do. Coach Carter just told you about the people that affected his life. But that started when, Coach?
4, 5, 6 years old with no daddy. A single mama with 2 siblings, 3 kids. Little League coach. First responder.
And that's it. So now throughout the first responders engage in some things where there's a challenge that's going on. And so they now become the solutions. What are some of the challenges that you all face with regards to this, with regards to helping young people now? And what are the solutions that you all see? What are needed?
Coach, I'll let you go first. It's a list. And we're talking about in this community.
Right, in this community right now.
Coach, I'll let you go first. I got the
solution. The challenges that we face are so many. But I remember the scripture, it said, be weary not in well doing. But in due season you will reap if you faint not. So guess what? Even though there's challenges, you have to be bold. You have to be consistent, and you have to be firm. Because you can't walk by sight. If we walked by sight, we'd have been dead a long time ago. You have to walk by faith, and you have to understand and know. But it takes action. See, we can pray all day. Praying is good and it's necessary, but we also have to take action, and we have to have the ability to say, look here, this is what the problem is. What is the problem? Let's call out the problem. Let's not sugarcoat it, but let's call it out. And also, once we figure out the problem, let's figure out the solution to the problem.
Fields. Start with that one.
Yes, sir.
So I had Windsor Forest Little League coach call me about using field. I had the Bears coach call me about using the field. And so I inquired, started asking, being in this community, being the coach community, about field. I coach college. I coach strength. I'm a strength and conditioning coach. I coach high school, college, pro athlete at 27-17, the gym. But I am connected to a lot of these coaches. And so they said, Coach, we don't have a field. Why do you don't have a field? They closed the field. COVID. Okay, now the field's open, but we don't have a field. We don't have a field. And we all trying to fight a field. But then I go by Jennifer Ross. I go by Jennifer Ross, and I see a whole bunch of field. Then I go down by Bacon Park, and I see a field, but nobody using it. Then I go by Daphne Park, I see a field, and there's a lot. And I just so I started calling and inquiring about why we use the field. And they said, well, because those fields, the Bacon Park field, has to be reserved, right? And it's locked, and it's an AstroTurf field that taxpayers pay for. I go by Daphne Park, has to be reserved. It's an AstroTurf field. Now, so you will get kids to go out into the regular grass and they tear legs, sprain an ankle because the field is not laser level. And so they do the best they can, because I played on the Daphne Park field. And so what happens is, but then I go by Jennifer Ross and I see that field and I see it packed. And it's not necessarily white or black. It's just socioeconomic. It's just the fact that people who can afford to play at Jennifer Ross, because it's soccer over there with the football fields in back, predominantly soccer. You know, I'm like, well, why can't they use that field? Well, it's already reserved. It's already taken. So now what happens is with Little League, there's not enough fields. There's not enough fields for all these kids in our community and all these kids that want to play, because we're out here like play ball, play sports, be active, be active. But there's not enough fields. And then the field that some of them do have, especially the good ones, like Bacon Park, there's no bathroom, there is no concession, there is no stands. So who's gonna play on that field? Right. And then at Daphne Park, there is, but it's locked. And so what happens is, if we really are serious about supporting our Little League, then we'll open up the fields. And so we see Jennifer Ross, and we go out there and say, well, if nobody's on soccer, let me take my team out there. And they were like, well, you got to reserve it. Well, there's nobody here now. Well, you can't do it because they use it. But this is a county field, and that's a private organization. And they said, well, they reserve it. They got a lease on it. Okay, well, let me get a lease on it. Well, they got the first dibs on the lease. And I'm like, what is this? Well, but then over the weekend, somebody got shot. And then last year, and like, so this is what it is. So soccer now has priority over a field that nobody else can use. But then we're really concerned about the youth, and we're really concerned about we get them to do something. And so when I was taking the Daphne, well, it's locked. It's like, we don't have any place to take them. Right. Can't use Foresight. And you can't use Foresight because now you know what they're doing. You know what you can't use? Well, I can. You can use, because I had to do it with kids that have been 4 years old, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, all the way up to 13. Lake Mill, where you induct feces, where your kids getting bit up by fire ants, and also surrounded by water. And that field is not level. Very not level. It's not level, and it's uncut, and it's ditched. And so, but you run out there while the laser field is when I say laser level, it's flat. There's no bumps in it. It's not being used. Right. That is something that has to change. The fields have to open up. You know, have an excuse of, well, they're gonna mess it up, or somebody driving the graffiti. Just like, I mean, that's a merry-go-round. Why build it? I mean, it's a basketball. Why build it? Why build it? Right. I mean, it's upkick to anything. I mean, there are certain things that you just inherent risk to having. Right. Why even have it? Right. You know, and so if you're gonna build it, they will come. But when the door locked, they won't come. Right. So I tell them to jump over the gate. Yes, sir. Just jump the gate, man. Yes, sir. I like, just jump the gate. Yes, it's a city field, just jump the gate. That's right. I like jump the gate. Yes, and so, because the thing is, you have this field and nobody uses it, and then you wonder why. Right. Why are they shooting each other? Right. Yeah. Why are they doing it? Right. Why? Yeah. Right. But then we look at the field, look at the lock on the field. Yeah. And so the field. Then we start talking about it is not just, think about it. It is not just social, just not just an economic thing. If you have Bacon Park, coach, coach,
Yes.
Dr. Jamal.
Yes, sir.
And you have no bathroom. Coach, when I was in Little League, and you played Little League,
Yes,
and
sir.
you were Little League,
Yes, sir.
the coach, we went behind the tree.
Yes, sir.
My son played at Forsyth Park. He went behind the tree. There's no bathroom. Before they built that little pavilion at the end. All right, we went behind the tree. Here is the thing that I want you to think about, world, America. Here's the thing. At Bacon Park, there's no bathroom. But they have a field. One of the fastest growing sports in the state of Georgia is flag football.
Yeah.
Followed by fast pitch softball.
Yes.
All both are catered toward the girls.
Yes.
Bacon Park has no bathroom. Now, if a boy will go in the woods and
Catch a tree.
catch a tree. That's what I'm telling you.
Catch a tree.
There's one right there.
Yes,
Catch
sir.
a tree. But guess what girls don't do?
Okay.
And I won't let my girl do that, and you won't want your girl to do that.
Right.
So these fields are also not are socioeconomic segregated,
yes.
but they also gender segregated.
Yes. Yes.
Girls are not going to a place where there's no bathroom.
That's true.
Boys can get away with it.
Right.
We've been getting away with it. Girls are not doing it.
Right.
So we're intentionally about engaging our girls.
Right.
Build them bathrooms.
That's right.
Put them a bathroom in there.
That's right.
Give them a water fountain.
That's true.
If we are serious about the girls,
Right.
we are serious. We don't even think about that.
Right.
We build a field. You put this field down for $1 million and leave it.
Yes.
But what about the girls? If I guarantee you, if Bacon Park had a bathroom,
yes.
if Bacon Park had some type of concession and stands, you couldn't keep girls fast pitch softball. You couldn't keep girls flag football off Bacon.
That's true.
Instead of driving by now,
That's true.
and nobody's out by it.
That's true.
And you're wondering why the crime rate
Right.
and what's going to shooting up in the street.
But you know what else I wonder,
Go
Coach?
ahead.
And this is my question too. Coach, I got a youth organization,
Yes, sir.
nonprofit, right? I take
What's the name of it?
Savannah Royal Lions youth organization. I take the kids camping every year. We
Yes.
either go between Skidaway Island State Park
Mhm.
or we go to Fort McAllister right there in Richmond Hill.
Yes.
So I got on the phone and I called Bryan County Rec Department, right?
Yeah.
I say, hello, my name is Todd. I have a nonprofit youth organization and I want to know, can I please have permission to use you all facility so I can have planned activities with the youth? Don't you know, they say we have an open gate policy. Everything is open and be free to come. You all are more than welcome to come. This is in Richmond Hill, Coach. Richmond Hill.
Next county over. Next county over.
That's Richmond Hill. That is Richmond Hill.
Jamal,
Oh,
did you hear what he just said?
Yeah.
Did you hear what he just said? We have an open what, Coach?
gate policy.
Yeah.
Open gate.
Jamal,
Yeah.
Jamal,
Yeah.
did you hear what he just
Yes,
said?
sir.
Hey, Coach,
You-
they know we coming from Savannah.
But you still can come.
Yes, sir. I still can come.
Yeah.
You can come.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I'm not
What
even
about
a resident
What
of.
about us, man?
You're more than welcome. It's open gate.
What about her over there standing over that girl
Oh,
over there who
okay.
looks like she wants to play?
More than welcome to come. Come.
What about the kids downtown who will live in a low income housing?
Come.
What about the kids who live with single parent and barely have?
Come. Because guess what, Coach? Those are the type of kids who came with me that I brought out there. Those are the type of kids that came with me when I brought them out
But what
there.
about the kids that have two parents that they work and also they can afford?
They can come.
So you can mix the kids
You
together
can mix them together.
and they can learn from each other
Yes, sir. And they can get better.
and they can get better.
Yes, sir. Free of charge.
Hold on. So you don't separate them. So you don't say we're going to have soccer for this economic group, but we're not going to offer soccer for this economic group. And so only these people in this economic group has access to this sport.
No.
You say, what are what a novel.
Yes, sir.
In Bryan County.
It is.
In Bryan,
Yes, sir.
Bryan County.
Yes,
That's
sir.
county
Right off of
over.
144.
What a I am.
Yes.
What a
So that's a solution.
Yes, it is.
Dr. Jamal.
Uh-huh.
You mean to tell me? Because I've heard you say a quote as akin to this about everybody getting together. You mean to tell me you could have a situation where you call it the open gate? What? It doesn't matter your economic background. It doesn't matter your color,
Yes, sir.
your creed, your color.
Right.
Kids can come together, work together,
Yes, sir.
learn from each other,
Yes, sir.
understand the differences, grow up together.
And then guess what, coach? They have a grass stadium field. So we always hear about, oh, we got grass and they'll tear it up in the cleats. They didn't mention not one time about tearing it up in this grass. It's not AstroTurf, it's grass.
And we got AstroTurf. Jamal, did you hear And girls and boys can play.
Girls and boys, they don't discriminate. They didn't say, Todd, who you bringing out there?
What about, did you have to call somebody who had who did the schedule? And then they said, well, you can't use it because we got a private event this week.
No, sir.
But we got, even though it's a public field,
no,
you didn't have to get it confirmed.
No, I ain't have to get that confirmed.
So private entities don't rent the public field.
Savannah had me so messed up. When I called and I was asking all these questions, I really couldn't believe what the person was telling me. That's bad. I didn't believe it.
Hard.
Yeah, even and then when I went, I was still walking tiptoeing because I'm like, it's too good to be true. It's almost like I broke out of an institution. Well, this is too good to be true.
Did you hear that?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Man.
So, but that goes to show you what they do and what they know and which Richmond Hill understand is this, and that's why they're successful. It's a relationship between the community, the rec department, as well as the school system. So therefore, that's why their kids are blooming and grooming and have the everything that they need to be successful. But when it comes down to our kids, the city, the county, and our school system are
different pages. The person, we got a guy in Savannah who's been here for 40 years, and he runs the schedule for the events in the city. But he has no authority over the city rec departments. So now if he schedules something in the rec department, some of the rec departments supersede his scheduling, have their own scheduling, start their own little rec league inside a rec department. And so now you got a kid who's not in that rec department, but it comes up open door policy, and they say, well, you can't play because we have our team. But then you say, well, hold on, this is just this is the rec department. And they was like, well, we already have our team. That goes on here in
yes, it does. It does a lot.
It goes on here.
A lot. And that happens on the city side as well as the county side.
Now, remember now, we're talking about public.
Yes, sir.
Not private business.
Right.
Private businesses is different. Right. But when you talk about public funds, public money, right? That happens at a so now these departments, Rex department, have turned into a private facility in a public building.
Wow. So to the viewers, we understand that the screen has frozen, but we understand you can hear the audio, so that was still listen to what's going on. You're still putting it out there. You still get all this good juice. Share this on Run Tell that shit, so they can hear us. If your screen is frozen at the point, so yeah.
So that's, we talked about the field. We talked about the facility. Now let's talk about the finance.
Whoa.
So the money that goes into our rec departments and the money that goes into these youth sports and the money that goes into what we're trying to do back, putting the things together. Our departments, if you go to other cities our size or comparable to our size, our rec, and you've heard it and people said it so many times, our rec buildings, the building itself are 20, 30 years behind the time.
Yes.
You have to adjust the young, so we offer football as a field, we offer basketball, but we don't offer much of anything else. So, like again, flag football for girls.
Yes.
Fast pitch softball for girls.
Yes.
Boxing.
Wrestling.
Hold on. Fishing. But I got something good that they want to do. Gaming.
Wow.
Gaming.
Right.
Gaming.
That's true.
We can have gaming teams. That's a sport.
That's right.
That's a sport.
Yes, it is.
But we stuck.
Yeah.
We in this community could be the standard.
Right. That's right.
But instead of, we offer, if you get online, I saw it, we offer the football schedule and a basketball schedule.
And that's it.
And every kid does not want to play football and basketball.
You know what, Coach? I did some research the other day, right? And I was just thinking about things in the past that we used to have. Like when we wanted to do videos, we used to go to Blockbuster.
Right.
You know, and when we wanted electronics, we used to go to Circuit City and places like that, Radio Shack.
Right.
But now they have Amazon.
Right.
You know, and now we have not only Amazon, but we have what's that with the videos and stuff we see all the time with the new stuff, streaming stuff, live video where we can sit on our couch and what it's called? Netflix
and HBO Max and all
the point that I'm making, things change over time.
Exactly. You adjust.
So why, when it comes to recreation in our community, that we still doing stuff the same as when my granddaddy and my daddy and all was playing and coaching and stuff, and then yet I came up in the 80s. I'm an 80s baby, and now that I'm 36 years of age, but I'm still seeing stuff still ran the same way, and we wondering why we still getting the same result, but now it's getting worse.
Exactly. He took the words out of your mouth, my mouth, and he took it and put it. That's it. It's the same, and you have to adjust. These are not. It's the same, and you have to adjust to the time. And you see people, you know, fishing, gaming, fast fish. It can't just be football and basketball. And
I went and proposed to the city of Savannah Parks and Recreation. I'm a fishing man. I love to fish. I told them, I said, look here, I want to create a program where we can get sponsors. Let's get with Bass Pro Shop. Let's get with some. And what we'll do, we'll have these kids to sign up. Let's say 2-week program in the summer. The first week, what we're gonna do, we're gonna teach you about how to properly tie a line, the fishing line with it all, and you're gonna learn everything about what you need to prepare to go fishing. And then we're gonna teach you about the different type of fish, because you need to know what you're fishing for, what's good and what's bad, and bait, what type of bait you use for what you're trying to catch. And then the second week, we take what we learned in the classroom, and then guess what? Now we go out, stock the pond. You can stock that from pond. Come out, stock it up, and then we bring the kids out here, and then we fish.
And the thing is, that classroom would be in this great 2-story rec center.
Yes, sir.
With 3 or 4 multi-purpose rooms in it.
Yes, sir.
It has a gaming room. You can teach fishing. And every community in from the south side, the west side, the downtown, to the all over Midtown has these rec communities. Right? And it's open to the public, and these kids can go in there, and they can have after-school tutorial. They can do they can learn how to do your fish. They can teach 1 fish, 2 fish, 3 fish, more fish. Because if you teach them how to fish, Dr. Jamal, if we teach them how to fish,
they never go hungry.
And pass it on.
Pass it on.
You know how you stay out of trouble? We'll keep little Timmy from going to get that pistol. Wanna know why?
Because he can make it sound, I know how to make me some food.
You want to go fishing?
Then we can have cooking classes. And we can have you can do cooking, and you can get in the community, and you can have business owners to come in, and you can teach them. You can teach it, but it's got to be. It can't just be football and basketball.
Let's do a camp in the park. Let's do a camp in the park. Where we actually bring these kids. We teach them how to set up tents. We teach them how to fix meals. We teach them how to survive. And then guess what? We can do activities, fun activities. We can play some flag football. We can play some basketball. You got Davenport Park. Let's do it in the middle of Davenport Park.
We can do lacrosse. We can do frisbee. We can do all. But the thing is, it's limitless, because all these kids, it's limitless.
Yes,
and we can have ideas from them, and then we can make up games. Like when I did hot butter biscuit. Hot butter biscuit. When I was like, we made it up. We made a hot butter biscuit. You can play hot butter biscuit. Email to us. I explain hot butter biscuit. We have more time. But I would just say, it is, and none of these things are brand new. None of these things are cutting edge. You just got to want to do it. But the only way you want to do it, community, and this is a message, you got to demand it. You got to go to the county commission. You got to go to city council. Just like this man has done. And just like he does. And you got to say, this is what we want. But if you sit on your and don't do that, then they're like, Dr. Jamal, he often says that they'll have a meeting, they'll show up, and all the people who talk won't say that, won't be that. So if you really want this, if we're serious about our community, if we're serious about saving lives, then there's an action step. Because we got the ideas, but community, you are the ones that's got to push it. You are the ones that's got to say, this is what we want to do. Because you got to get tired of these boys and these young people and women, girls getting killed in the street.
Yes.
You got to get tired. I am. We all tired of it.
Yes, yes. And for those of you who tell that, we're gonna let that be the final word, because you all got the insight and you now understand it gotta be about action. If you're truly concerned about this community, concerned about crimes, concerned about weapons, concerned about drugs, you're not gonna support little league coaches, right? Coaches. You're gonna help people who are helping your young people. You're gonna work with them, you're gonna listen to them, and not go before your city officials, your county officials, your state officials to make sure that they're protected. That's Run Tell That.
Run Tell That.
Run Tell That.
The best high school in Savannah.
Great show. I got the internet back on in my side. Sorry about that.
Oh, I know that the star played a role in some of this. Oh, they didn't. Mr. Producer, Miss Producer. I gotta get like Bernard Brown, America After Dark. Check out all the shows on ATR. I was like, Mr. Producer, Miss Producer. Why didn't y'all unmute my mic? And I'm busy talking, but that's how they do me. I'm let y'all know this. If you don't realize this, Run Tell That is the little brother to all the shows on ATR. That's what the deal is. And we accept being the little brother. That's how they just handle us like that. Like little brother, they just plink us all the time. But again, you all heard the information and great information. And that, yes, Little League coaches, my cousin Vanessa understood. She said, great show, because she understood the importance. And Representative Dr. Tanya Howard Hall also said Little League coaches are important. As many of y'all realize, it is essential, because when we talk about the issues in our community, what has happened for many of our children, they have nothing to do. They have nothing to do. And then Coach Todd Rhodes Jr. said something. He said it to me weeks before we even did this show, when I first met him. He said, you know who will show them love? Our young people will show them love? Gangs. Gang members will show our young people love. And that's not what we need to be doing. And Coach Carter put it out there with regards to the people who helped him out along the way. Coach Roscoe, Coach Holmes, they all helped him along with Roscoe Edwards. And some of y'all know Roscoe Edwards also taught in the school system, was a substitute teacher also. And y'all know we had loved to have Coach Edwards come to us, because again, he kept it real with us and he influenced us also, even in the school system. And that's what Todd has been talking about. Coach Todd Rhodes has been saying there needs to be a marriage between the county, the city, and the Board of Education to now address this with regards to our youth. Because in addition, we have these centers and activities are not happening in the centers. So then what happened? Our young people are out there, and guess who's out there waiting for them to show them some love? Gang members and other criminals. I'm just saying, not necessarily just gangs, but other people with a criminal mentality. They're out there. So we need to step up to the plate and make something happen. We need to get our elected officials to understand we must make the facilities accessible, and we should not be restricting people. One of the things that came up in the conversation, which you all probably heard, when Todd talked about how he'd go to Richmond Hill, and they opened the doors up for them. They opened up the floodgates for them to come in. And it did not matter about race, did not matter about, as Coach Carter said, creed, origin, religion, or finances. Everyone could go right there. And that's in Bryan County. That's why you probably heard me saying in the next county over, Bryan County. And Coach Todd Rhodes has said something. He said that he had been, I'm going to say like this, so traumatized on how they function here in Chatham County and Savannah. He couldn't believe that when the people at Richmond Hill just opened it up. And something he also shared with us too, that even when he's taking them down there for practices, they have even said to them, like on the soccer teams, and said, hey, we're going to finish this up, then let y'all have the whole field. They have been cordial down in Richmond Hill. But here it is, here go our children, our young people, our adults who are right here trying to take care of our youth. No, I didn't freeze. Excuse me, it wasn't a technical freeze. It was me, because I want to pause on that. Here in our own county, in our own city, where folks are paying taxes, we don't get that type of support and that cordiality. So we're not even concerned. So I'm like saying, but you all can talk about, we got a gang problem, a gun problem, and we got young people involved in this, but you're not giving them any outlets with regards to this right here. You lock up facilities and then keep them locked. Even when we now say the pandemic is over with, we still keep them locked, or we restrict it. Something that I have to do, and some of y'all can probably go do, find out who does the scheduling for the fields for the county. Find out who does the scheduling. And part of the controversy with regards to this is that the person who does the scheduling for the county also does the scheduling for the private soccer team that's here, Savannah United. So there's a conflict of interest. That's something that we're going to be addressing. We're going to be addressing that. We're going to put that out there. And so this is problematic for us because it impacts our entire community. And then, as Coach Carter saying, so you now also have Little League coaches not understanding fully their responsibility. Their responsibility is not to get with somebody's mama or daddy, anything like that. I'm just saying that it's not to get with somebody's uncle or auntie or brother or sister. It's not about, that's not your job. It also is not your job to then have because you are coaching one team, it is not for you now to have these young people, these young children in your care as you being a guardian, to not despise other folks on other teams. That's not your job to do that, because you're planting the seed of destruction. We're saying you are an agent for change for the better for us, so we do not need the ignorance going into our coaches. So that's when Coach Carter said, hey, listen, we now get the Little League coaches to now understand how they need to function also with regards to, they didn't bring that up on the segment or that we tape, but that's something that I'm aware of, and that's something that we have to address. That again, the ignorance that happened with some of us when we are saying we're being coaches, and we're not truly being coaches. Instead, we're being parasites. And no longer can we tolerate parasites here, because we see what happens. Because you already got one front that don't want you to have the facility. Then if you go engage in the ignorance, all that does is help them not go justify. And so that's why we're going to move into something. I did a video, one of my Gullah observations, which I talked about Daffin Park. Daffin Park. You are no longer playing football in Daffin Park. You're no longer playing on the fields. People complained about Daffin Park. They complained about Daffin Park, in particular to excuse me. That's not how they made it, but that's what it was about, the families. And it was about the families who were brown, black, yellow, red people, because they're playing football. And the families are coming out there and they talk about the park, and they try to go to our elected officials. And some of our elected officials, because they want to get votes, sometimes will acquiesce to them because they think those are going to be people that's going to vote and will support them, or that they may be the ones that will give them some funds for a campaign contribution, or that they'll be out there, or they won't raise the ruckus that how because some of us will sit back and we just engage in the hullabaloo amongst ourselves, but not with regards to the political hullabaloo. So those folks complained about it, and so then we have nothing happen on Daffin Park. And folks have said that we've had elected officials who lived in the area of Daffin Park would not even come out there onto the fields. And so, but you will listen to these other folks who live over there, who moved, in some cases moved over there, and they now shut down everything, cause everything to shut down. Then your young people are restricted with regards to a small amount of fields. But guess what? You got fields that over in the county on the islands that, again, they make sure that they are taking care of things over there. But in the city of Savannah, the largest municipality in the county, that we have restrictions on us and on our children. And then you try to figure out why you have the issues of crime, of the so-called, of the gangs. I'm not dismissing the gangs, there are gangs here, but again, we are dismissive of all this, and we're trying to figure out where it's coming from. When I'm like, you see the genesis that you're not providing outlets for young people, and that you heard some of the ideas with regards to even you can have various types of rodeos. I would say when I say fishing rodeos, you can do that. Then we have the ability to do that. We got the people. You heard Coach Carter said that. You heard Coach Rhodes said that. You heard the ideas with regards to gamers, and then we had came down to the issue of gender equity with regards to recreational activities. That so here it is. You have facilities that will not accommodate girls, young ladies. That's a problem. And we all should be discussing this. See, because again, sometimes we get so caught up into our own little world that we don't think about the pain and the anguish tied to other people or how other people are brushed aside. No, I tell folks, you look at all marginalized people. That's what this is about. Run Tell That is about that. We look at all marginalized people. I might talk about one segment. You hear me talk about one segment, but then also I know how to look at all other segments too. And then at times I'll bring that up. So we got that right there. So we got to address the gender issues with regards to recreation also, and the economic issues too. But I want to go back in time with regards to some of y'all and ask the question. In particular, some people who have lived in the Forsyth Park area, you might remember this in particular. Did y'all remember when there used to be urban tennis teams? Oh, some of y'all probably saying what? Yes, at one time they were urban tennis teams that will play right on Forsyth Park in Savannah, Georgia, at least in the 70s, and I dare say we're going up into the 80s. That's why I let y'all notice. That's why some African Americans here in this city were learning tennis because they were part of those urban tennis teams that were right there playing in Forsyth Park. Some of them later went on to some of the high schools and played tennis. Some of these black folks went and played tennis for the tennis teams at some of the high schools here in Savannah. Oh, how we forget. So also here it is again. Some of y'all remember baseball. Y'all remember CDC, Boys Club, M&M, Food Town. Y'all remember those various Can Park. You know, remember the various baseball teams that would play that were going on right here in this city. And so yes, so we had that, and they were playing right there on Forsyth Park. We had them playing in Daffin Park. So they are playing in these parks right here. So we had a well-rounded recreational program. And so again, in the facilities, people are able to go there. And then with regards to the swimming, that again, people are not actively, not to say that we had swim teams, but people are actively not engaging in their own minor competitions with regards to the swimming going on. Yeah, we had a really active recreational program that was done our way. But then what happened, I tell folks, when you now become detached from the people, or you have officials who don't have a connection to the people, they don't remember, or they begin to get caught up into somebody else's story or process. We need to return back to that. I told them, I said, yes. I said, so for us, just to share this with you, that's why I said we never need to know about Richard Williams, because we had our own people right here who were doing training folks right here in the city of Savannah. And I guess what, some of those names have been forgotten of those folks who were coaching, again, urban tennis team, where you had African-American children who were learning and playing tennis right here and playing teams right there on Forsyth Park. Because I remember being out there in Forsyth Park and seeing them play. I wasn't part of the team, but I was right there, saw that happen. Because again, that's why I tell folks, we have to stop acting like some things are brand new, and we have to go back and remember what was actually beneficial to us. And don't go based on somebody else giving you something just because they not step up here and say, and you believe that they are a superstar. But sometimes they're not a superstar, they're just a slug moving along slowly, and again, just trying to maintain a process for themselves. We need the stars back. We need all the stars back with regards to recreation and helping our youth, but helping our community. Because when we help our youth, we help our community. And that's something that Robert Sensei Abbott understood, that if we take care of our youth, that we will thrive and survive as a people. And that's how Barack Obama became president of the United States, based on, again, Robert Sensei Abbott doing his work that he learned in Yamacraw and in Woodsville here in Savannah, Georgia. Yes, Barack became president based on the work of a child out of Yamacraw and Woodsville. But we don't talk about it and we don't realize it. But he understood the importance of taking care of the children, that when you take care of the children, you will thrive and you will survive. Run Tell That. Let everyone know that Run Tell That will be the place for you to come hear information. And we want you to go back in time to think about it and carry it forward into our future. That's why, again, because some of the things in your past are relevant for you today because it's a part of who you are as a person. And you got to let your foundation be known, because what has happened for some of us, we've become disconnected from the foundation. So that's why when the young people carry on like a fool, as some of y'all say, it's because you never told them who they are. You never told them that they were sacred trees. Yango Mapo, Savannah. A large sacred tree grows in Savannah. We must put that out there all the time. Run, tell that. Glad to have y'all share. And again, it was a technical difficulty that came up based on we had the minor tropical storm that messed with the connection. But again, you got some powerful information. We'll see you next week. Again, August is going to come in, and we got Robert Jordan, from Windsor Forest, and got our sister out of Athens, Georgia, out of Clark County. We're going to be doing some things, again, talking about our young people and what we need to be doing with regards to excellence. That's not just here, but around this entire state and this entire country. Run, tell that. Again, the Little Brother Show, of all the shows on ATR, we always glad to be right here because we all family. Support all the shows on ATR. Bam. Peace and blessings. Share.